So we're gonna start on our backs on the mat. We're gonna have a strap handy to use later in class. And again, if you like a little extra cushion under your head, depending on where your practice space is, you might like to put a little blanket or a towel underneath the head and shoulders. But if we're putting some softness down, again, it's flat and it's just for softness. So I don't want the head to be lifted, right? I want to try to keep the neck neutral. Yeah, and then letting the spine or back body connect more fully to the mat. We are going to situate our body so that feels more natural. So that might mean that our knees are bent up towards the ceiling, right? They could be knees bent and then out to the sides. You could have the legs long. Yeah, and then once we decide what leg placement feels right for our body, we'll set the arms out to the sides, right? Just a little bit away from the sides of the body. The palms can be up towards the ceiling, right? We might even shimmy the shoulder blades under the back a little bit more. Yeah, and then once we're there, we can let the eyes soften. They might close completely. Yeah, using these first moments of class to come more fully into our body, right? To connect more fully with our breath. Notice if you're holding your belly while you breathe here, right? See if you can let it free up so there's a soft expansion of the belly with the breath in. Right, it will soften back towards the mat with the breath out. A few times like that. And then we're going to add in some soft movement, just starting with the arms. We're going to stretch the fingers out wide. This is going to be our breath in, fingers out wide, palms towards the ceiling. And then when we exhale, we're going to turn the palms down to the floor. A few times like that. And one more time. Yeah, at the end of the exhale, palms are going to be down. Let the palms stay down and then bring the hands in close to the sides of the body. If they're not already, we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat. As the soles of the feet come to the mat, we'll line up heels with the hips. Ankles are closer to being under the knees. Starting with just a few pelvic rocks. And again, this is a very soft movement, so you might not see it if you're looking at me doing it. So just feel it for yourself, right? When we exhale, we're going to draw the belly button down towards the mat. So that's going to diminish that curve in the lower back, right? We're going to feel that connect to the mat. And then when we inhale, right, we come back to neutral. So again, there's that kind of expansion of the belly up, right? Exhale, actively draw the belly button towards the mat, feeling in that curve in the lower back. And then inhaling, right, expanding back up, neutral. A few times like that. Now, so we have one more time where we exhale the belly button down, and as we inhale back to neutral, we'll stay at neutral. Yeah. And then with neutral pelvis, wiggle through the toes, move through the feet. Feel the surface of the feet really actively on the mat. And then that's going to be our access point. So when we breathe in, we're going to press the feet into the mat. That's going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And then when we exhale, hips are going to come back down to the mat. Right, so inhale, lift. Right, exhale, back down. Right, if you choose, arms can add in. So as we inhale, hips up, arms can come up, maybe all the way behind the head. Right, exhale, we're going to bring hips and arms back down. Right, so moving like you, right? You might be building up the movement. You might have a softer flow of movement, so listen to your body. You know you best. All right, we're going to have one more time here in flow, right? Inhale with a lift. All right, our exhale lower. All right, as we come back down, keep the arms down by the sides of the body. We're going to add in a little bit of a strengthening around that hip raise, so arms will stay down. We're going to inhale the hips back up towards the ceiling. We're going to be here for a few breaths, so we might just stay like this with just the hips raised. If you feel like there's room to grow, we can see about bringing the right thigh in and stretching the right foot up, and it might be just a little bit, right? So lifting the right leg up off the mat, maybe all the way towards the ceiling. Yep. Go ahead, let the right foot reconnect, hips stay lifted. See if you can do it with the left. So it might just be the knee up. You might take the foot all the way up. Good job. You're going to exhale, left foot back down to the mat. One more time, lifting up the hips, breath in. Yeah, and then now with the exhale, we'll take the back body down to the mat. As the back body returns to the mat, step the outside edges of the feet to the outside edges of the mat. Right, and then here, let the knees swing side to side. All right, the next time the knees fall over to the left, we're going to let the knees stay to the left, right? And the legs are staggered, right? So it gives us a little opportunity, right, to move deeper into it or not, right? So you're adjusting. If you want to move a little bit deeper into stretching through that right hip, then we can take the left heel on top of the right knee. Interlace the fingers and let the fingers rest on the right side of the rib cage. Yeah. Weighting that side of the body down towards the mat. We'll take 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. The heels on the knee, release. Inhale, we'll bring the knees back through center. They're going to turn over to the right side now. Hands just kind of naturally go over to the left side of the rib cage. Let them rest there. Again, option to move deeper into now the left hip by bringing the right heel on top of the left thigh or knee. Again, we're here for 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. The heels on top of the leg, let it come back down. Knees will come back to center. Keep the knees wide and then bring them in towards the chest. As I bring the knees in towards the chest with the wider knees, kind of feels like they're more towards the outer edges of my rib cage. Hands are going to be on the tops of the knees. All right, we're going to inhale. We're going to take the knees in more actively towards the chest, and then we're going to move them out to the side. We're going to exhale the knees away from the chest, and then we're going to bring them in together. Inhaling, the knees come into the chest and then out to the sides. Exhaling, knees away, back through center. Inhale up, out to sides. Exhale away, knees together. Another time like that. All right, as the knees come back together, we're going to do it the other way. So we'll inhale the knees away and to the sides, and then exhale up and then into center. A few times like that. Inhale away and to the sides. Exhale up into center. A few times like that. And next time the knees come into center, we'll leave the knees at center. Hands are going to move away from the tops of the knees, and then they're going to shimmy underneath the hips. As the hands shimmy underneath the hips, we're going to stretch the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. And then here we're going to circle out to the ankles. We're going to circle the other direction. Wiggling toes, stretching out through the toes. We can point and flex the feet a few times. Yeah, letting the feet release. The knees are going to bend. Oops, feet are going to come back to the floor. We're going to pancake ourselves over. So we're going to turn onto our belly so we can move through our side and set ourselves up. And as we come onto our bellies, we're going to lengthen out our legs and take the tops of the feet, there's not plural with an S, just feet is plural, top of the feet to the outside edges or outside corners of the mat, I should say. All right. So we can lift the head. The hands are going to come down by the sides of the body. And as they come down by the sides of the body, we're going to keep the fingers spread really wide. And then the hands are off the mat. So the distance between the hands is wider as well. See if you can feel the shoulder blades hugging onto the back. That's how far we're dropping our hands down. So they're really in line like mid-torso. With that, we're going to inhale, we're going to lift, right? Arms are going to lengthen, right? And then the exhale, we're going to come back down. Right, so it's a few times here. You might have a bigger lift, right? You might have a smaller lift. We're playing again, strengthening behind the shoulder blades, across the chest, right? But really thinking about moving through the spine, right? So it could be a littler lift, right? So again, looking like you. Take a few more rounds here. Yeah, one more time up. And we exhale back down this time. We'll stay with the chest down. Hands can sweep forward. Chin can rest on the tops of the hands. Knees are going to bend so soles of the feet are up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to just let the feet now swing side to side. A little release through the lower back. Yeah, let the swinging stop. Feet are going to return to the mat. We're going to bring the legs in more towards each other now, so the inseams of the legs are in together. Head's still going to relax on the tops of the hands, right? So chin can stack on the tops of the hands. All right. If you sleep on your belly, this might be a shape that you take, right? So we're going to bend the left knee out to the side. Right, as we bend the left knee into the out to the side, right, the leg's still connected to the ground. I want to try to keep the top of the right foot on the mat, so try not to let that leg roll out. You can see if there's space, right, you can lengthen out through that left leg too. So we're moving into that inner thigh, inner groin more, but you don't have to lengthen the leg, right? So just bending the knee out to the side might be enough. There's a feeling of weightedness to that left hip. At the end of the exhale, you're going to sweep the legs back together. And then once the legs are back together, we're going to do that same thing on the right side. So we're going to bend the right knee and take it out to the side. The leg stays connected to the floor. Right, if there's an option to stretch out through that right leg, you can see what feels right to you. Good job. Here's our last breath here. Letting the legs again come back to center. We're going to make our way up into a seat. So you can roll to your, however you want to travel. It could be in tabletop if you can be on your knees, or roll to your side and pull yourself around. So however you want to travel, we'll come back to a seated position. And then the seated position on our mat is going to be an open, easy seat. So an open, easy seat is where I have that front heel a little bit more forward, right? So the legs aren't tucked in. So my sit bones are connected, right? We're still working a lot with hips. We're going to bring our hands in front of the shins. You can let your head here be heavy. We're going to take a few breaths, right? You might make walk a little more forward with the hands. Yeah, so as we breathe here, it's a softening into the shape, and you might be right where you're at, or you might find as you continue to breathe here that there's a little bit more movement of the chest forward. Yeah, as your next exhale comes, we're going to keep the chest low. We're going to walk the hands over to the left. You can drop the head more towards the knee if you want to move into the neck more actively. You can see how that feels for you. Inhale, take the hands back through center. You'll exhale, hands over to the right. Yeah, inhaling, hands back through center. Exhale at center. And then inhale, take the top of the head up towards the ceiling. As the top of the head comes up towards the ceiling, we're going to shimmy, or shift, I should say more, the hands behind the hips. All right, so now the chest is going to raise. The head can drop back if that feels good. Good job. End of the exhale, bring the chin back to neutral. Lengthen out through the legs. As we lengthen out through the legs, leave a little distance between the inseams of the legs and then windshield wiper feet. So toes in and out, toes in and out, toes in and out. And then stilling that movement, we're going to run in place. We're going to run in place. Knees bend. Run in place, run in place, run in place, run in place, run in place. All right, letting the legs settle. We're going to make our way up to standing. Right, if you want to challenge yourself and try to come up without using hands, we could do that. Yeah, and then as we find ourselves up standing, right, we're going to have just a little bit wider stance. So feet are slightly outside the hips. Yeah, feet are going to be in parallel. Yeah, we're going to inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, let them go. I'm going to do that again. Good job. We're going to inhale the arms up. And then we're going to keep them up. I'm going to turn my left palm up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to hold on to that wrist with the left fingers. And then I'm going to take my right hand over to the left. I might lean a lot, right? You're going to see what feels right to you. Try not to pop the booty back and the chest forward. Try to stay integrated or engaged at center. One more breath here. We're going to inhale back through center. We're going to switch the hands, right? So now the right palm's up to the ceiling, holding on to that wrist with the left fingertips. We tip over to the left. Nice inhale, come back through center, stretch the arms up. Exhale, arms are going to come back down by the sides. I'm just going to turn to the side. You can stay just like you are. All right. As we breathe in, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to shift the hips back, right? So it's going to feel fluid, right? And then the arms are going to come forward, and it could be a little bit, it could be a lot of it, right? And then when I exhale, I'm going to lengthen the legs, arms press back. As I lengthen the legs, press the hips forward just a little bit. Arms go far as back as feels comfortable, right? So playing with range of motion, right? So as big, right? Or as soft as you want it to be. While you're moving here, we're being really conscious about keeping the soles of both feet fully on the mat, right? So we're trying not to roll to the sides of the feet or take the toes up off the mat. Good job. All right, the next time that we drop the hips back, we're gonna hold here for a few strengthening breaths. Make it as big as it feels comfortable. We're here for 3, breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Good job. Power up, breath in. Exhale out of the mouth, let the arms go. Woo. Leaving the arms loose by the sides of the body. Take a couple circles with the head. And a couple circles in the other direction. Yeah, one more circle. We'll end with the chin up, the chest. From there, we're going to bring the head back to neutral. Yeah, and then we're going to make our way to the top of the mat, and then we're going to be in mountain. So stepping to the short edge of the mat. And if you want, you can step back just a little bit. We're going to be stepping forward and back, so you're going to see what feels right for you. All right, so we're going to bring our hands together at the center of the chest. Right, and we're going to see about keeping the heel up here. So we're going to play a little bit with balance through this cycle of movement. We're going to start with the right foot. So we're going to inhale, we're going to step the right foot back. We're going to see if we can keep the heel up. We're going to bend into the front knee. Arms are going to stretch up. Right, so we're in our high lunge, and then when we exhale, we're going to step the feet back together. Hands at the center of the chest, right? And we're just going to alternate sides. We're going to inhale now, left foot steps back. We're going to see if we can keep the heel up. Right, arms can stretch up. Here's your inhale. Right, exhale. Right, feet together. All right, so that's it. So you're going to move like you. It could be a lot shorter stepping, right? So if you're going to stay in movement, right, you're going to figure out, okay, what is a good fit for you, right? We're going to try a few more rounds, right? So again, do what you need to do for you. We're going to end with the left foot back, so that might be a full round for you or a half round. When you bring that left foot forward, we're going to pause in mountain. Nice job. And then we're going to step the right foot back again. So it's going to be a little bit different this time. So as we step the right foot back, we still want the toes facing forward, but I want to let the foot connect completely, right? So instead of having the heel up, I'm going to have the foot all the way down. All right. So this is a lot about the pelvis and the lower back, right? So when we stretch forward, we're working across the back body, right? But when we start to split the legs, right, we're working more right side, we're working more left side, right? And generally, right, there's discomfort more on one side than the other in most bodies, right? Because we're two halves, right? So if that's the case, while we're moving here, these are some things you're going to think about. You don't want the hips swinging side to side. So we're going to when we start to move into the stretch, the body wants to move to where there's space. So that's where your hips start to pop out sometimes, right? So you're going to think about keeping your hips even. And then you want to keep flat across the lower back. All right, so that's what we're thinking about. So you might be stepping a little bit wider. There might be these little micro adjustments you're making to keep this even, all right? All right. So as we inhale, draw your belly in, right? So we're anchoring, right? We're stabilizing through the lumbar spine. And then as we exhale, the chest is going to come halfway forward, right? So this is where you might feel the hips start to shift. So you might step a little wider. Trying to feel it flat, again, across the lower back. You might stay right here. You might bring the hand to the top of that left thigh. Right, the hands might move further down that leg. You might connect down to the floor. But it's a stretch, right? We're stretchy, but we're still very active. Keep drawing the belly button in so it feels really like you're moving into the lower back from the inside of the body. Trying to stay level across the lower back, even across the hips. You have one more breath here. All right. As we're going to inhale up out of the shape, so both knees can soften a little bit. There's a rounding up with the spine. We're going to stand tall again, hands together at the center of the chest. We're going to step the feet together. As we step the feet together, we're going to inhale, fingertips up towards the ceiling, maybe a little back bendy feeling. Exhaling, arms are going to open out wide. They'll come back together at the center of the chest. And then we're going to do that same shape on the other side. And again, now you know the qualities that you're looking for in your alignment, and you know that right side and left side might feel very different. So this side might feel very different for you. So the left foot steps back, right? And just enough so that both feet are fully connected to the mat. All right. Before we start to come down, I'm really drawing my belly button in, right? Because I want to stabilize through the lower back here. And then as you're ready, right, it's the exhale. I'm going to come down halfway with the chest, right? So that gives me an opportunity to kind of finesse a little bit with the feet. If I'm feeling, I want to move to feel more even. And then from here, there's an exhale. We can come down a little more. My hands might be at the top of my thigh. They might be at my shin. They might come all the way down to the mat, right? So you're moving like you, and it might shift as you breathe here, right? So as we breathe and let the body soften into the shape, again, there might be tiny micro adjustments that we're making, right, to keep the hips even, right, and to stay level across the lower back. You got 2 more breaths. At the end of the next exhale, soften the knees. And then come back up to standing. As we come back up at the top of the head, hands come together at the center of the chest. We're going to step the feet back together. As the feet come back together, we're going to inhale, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Could be a little bit of a leaning back even. And then as you exhale, let the arms circle down by the sides of the body. Nice job. All right. We're going to make our way back down onto the mat now, and we're going to work with our strap. So as you're coming down, bring your strap with you. And then we're going to be bringing the leg across the body and then out to the side. So just as you're coming down, if you're very close on one side to a piece of furniture or something, you might just shift the mat a little bit, knowing that your leg has to go on both sides of it. Yeah. All right. All right, so as we come on to our backs, have the soles of the feet on the mat, and then again, be intentional about connecting the back body to the mat. So we're even across the lower back, right? We're even across the shoulders as they connect down to the mat. And then check in with the head too, right? So if the chin is more towards the ceiling, right, we might draw in towards the throat more, so we feel even through the neck. So the throat and the back of the neck feel equally long. Yeah, and then the strap's just going to be one long piece, so we can bring the center of that long piece around the insole of the right foot. Both ends of the strap are going to be in the right hand. And then we're going to lengthen out the left leg long on the mat. And as we lengthen the left leg long on the mat, that foot is flexed as well. So I'm feeling the muscles of the left leg very connective. Left hand's on the hip. Keep the left hip on the mat. Exhaling. Here's where the right foot moves out to the right. All right. So as we start to move away from center, you're playing with the bend behind the knee. Right, so even maybe more of a bend than you think might make you feel like you have more space to be in the shape. So seeing what's resonating with you. Yeah, and then play with drawing again that belly button down to the mat, right? So we're staying really engaged with our deep core. See how that plays in the stretch here as well, how you feel in the shape. Yeah, staying connected. Full breath in, full breath out. All right, we have another breath cycle here. At the end of your exhale, give yourself a micro bend behind that right knee. We're going to inhale the right foot back to center. Staying with the right foot, straps transition to the left hand. Right arm's going to stretch out to the right. Now I'm going to take my right foot over to the left. So here now the right hip can come up off the mat. Keep the nose up towards the ceiling. Same play with that bend behind the knee. See if you can exhale a little more actively here, right? So with the twist, right, there's that opportunity to expel more air. You're still lengthening out through that left leg. You got one more breath cycle here. All right, again, a little bend behind the right knee. You're going to inhale the right foot back up towards the ceiling. And as the right foot comes back up towards the ceiling, now both hands are going to come to the strap. Both feet are flexed. Draw the elbows in towards each other. And then as we exhale, we're going to roll up forehead towards the shin. We're here for 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Easing back down with head and shoulders. Now we'll transition feet. So left foot comes in to the inseam of the strap. Right leg lengthens out. Both ends of the strap will be in the left hand. Flex through both feet. So both legs are extending. One long on the mat and one up towards the ceiling. Yeah, and then right hand on the right hip. Keep that right hip down as we exhale, left leg out to the left. All right, again, playing with the bend behind the knee. This side might feel very different. All right, seeing about anchoring belly button down to the mat. All right, making sure we're still breathing in fully. Breathing out fully. Yeah, eyes might be soft. Now we have one more breath cycle here. And the end of the exhale, little micro bend at minimum behind that left knee, and left foot comes back up towards the ceiling. Here's where we transition. Straps now to the right hand. Left arm stretches out to the left. We're going to exhale, left foot over to the right. Nose is going to stay up towards the ceiling. Right here, we might be working with extending the exhale, taking advantage of the twist to expel more air. Let your forehead soften, let your jaw relax. And last 2 breaths here. As your next inhale comes, little micro bend at minimum, and then left foot comes back towards the ceiling. Here we are again, 2 long legs, 2 flexed feet. Both hands come to the strap, elbows draw in towards each other. Exhale, forehead towards the shin. We have 3 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Easing back down with head and shoulders. Bring both feet inside the straps. All right, with both feet inside the straps, we're gonna bring the soles of the feet to touching. So the strap now is more around the outside edge of my feet and then across the top. So I have a diamond shape in between my legs. All right, you're gonna have both hands on the straps. We're bringing the feet in towards us. All right, whatever that looks like. All right, if you're feeling really spacious here, right, you might take the forehead up towards the feet. So there's a feeling of the feet coming towards the forehead and maybe also the forehead coming towards the feet. You might even hold on to the feet. You have a few more breaths here. Right, here's our last one. At the end of the exhale, let the shape soften. Pull the strap off the feet and then let the knees come in towards each other. You can move the strap off to the side, and then with the knees in towards each other at the belly, we have a little rocking side to side, little rocking side to side. Yeah, easing back through center with the rocking. We're going to give ourselves one more big squeeze. Rolling nose up to knees, tight ball, breathing in. And then exhaling, we're going to lengthen long on the mat. You might feel fine with the limbs extended, arms by the sides of the body. If you're feeling like you're better supported by propping with anything under the legs or the head, please do that. And then once we've shaped the body where it can relax into stillness, we'll bring our attention back to our breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Now breathing in for 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing the count to yourself and to 3 out to 6 at your own pace. Now turn your nose to the right. Inhale the nose back through center and turn it to the left. And inhale the nose back through center. Now we can wiggle out through fingers, wiggle out through toes, roll out wrists, roll out ankles. Find one more big stretch with your inhale. And with the exhale, draw the knees in towards the belly and make your way onto your side. Take a breath or two on your side, maybe using your arm like a pillow. And then from our side, we can press ourselves back up to a seat. As we come back to sitting, we can let the eyes be soft, bringing a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. Breathing in through the nose. Soft breath out at the mouth. Again, like that. And softening your head to your heart, honoring the light within you, seeing and honoring that same light in each and every one of us. Namaste.